am Madeleine Qumuataq from Panniqtuuq, Nunavut. Welcome to the exhibition. I hope you enjoy this. It's a very good exhibition of art and also the Arctic waste that we see from around the world that comes up here and us that live up here, and how we should maintain it, the tundra and the waters to be pristine as much as possible. I hope you enjoy this exhibition. Thank you. Madeleine Qumuataq, Panniqtuuq, Madeleine Qumuataq from Panniqtuuq, Nunavut. I've lived here most of my life, and I really enjoy doing art. My mother was a weaver and a seamstress. My father was an artist. So I just carried on. And the Arctic is very important. The surroundings around us are very pristine and important to maintain our Inuit way. So this project has been very important to me. Thank you.
Hey, my name is Oleepika and I'm from Pang. I am so excited to be going to Peterborough with other people from here. It really is very exciting. Thank you so much. Bye.
Hi, Malaya Pitsiulak ngayonga. Panniqtuuq ngayonga. Sanangot ngayonga taonunga. Takoyatolagama hoveasuttunga. Ammalo elenneat tilagama. Elisenni la sokosanne hoveasuttunga. Taonunga laanni hoveasuttunga. Takolaakuku koyannami.
Hello, I am David Kilabuk. I live in Panniqtuuq, Nunavut, born and raised there. I am a photographer. I enjoy photographing the landscape here and all the wonderful people that live here are great subjects, and there's a lot of history here, and there's still so much to learn about my culture and photography as well. So I hope you enjoy my photos and learn a little bit of what I have learned through my photographs and some videos. So thank you.
I'm in Cambridge Bay. I'm from Panniqtuuq. But look at this. It's 9:07 p.m.
My name is Jupa Ishulutak from Panniqtuuq, Nunavut, and I live here all my life. And I'm a soapstone carver, and I'm so excited to go to Peterborough.
Hi, I'm Micky Renders. I'm an artist and a waste researcher from Peterborough, Ontario.
My name is Talia Metuq. I grew up and live in Panniqtuuq, Nunavut. It is originally called Panniqtuuq, but Southerners couldn't say it, so they named it Panniqtuuq. Panniqtuuq means a place of bull caribou. Our town is surrounded by mountains, so we live in fjord. My relationship with the land is respecting and caring about the land we live in. I grew up with everyone around me telling me to always respect it. If I want to see the land clean, then I can litter. The place of my sit spot is not too far and not too close from my place, safe from all the animals. It is the place I used to go to when I was feeling upset, depressed, and had anxiety at its worst. I always went there with my late dog. I would watch her run around chasing ravens, and most of the times she would sit with me enjoying our view. I would normally walk to the end of the road if I didn't want to be hiking, sit on the shore watching the waves. Looking at my view, I would see the weather and mountains like my emotions. Sunny, calm weather, and ocean will be a happy person. Foggy and raining with rough ocean would be feeling depressed and having anxiety. Mountains are high and low, which I see them as our life, ups and downs. Ocean are calm and big waves. Same thing with the mountains. I see them as our life. I also would talk to our creator about my emotions, wishing I had the same life as someone who doesn't get anyone's bullshit into them, wishing I would leave the world without hurting anyone. This is the place I would go to when I was happy, depressed, and had anxiety, and also helped me to be sober and helped me stop from having suicidal thoughts. This is the place that would help me get through all the stuff that was going on that made me happy, stressed, depressed, and had anxiety. Everything that you can name. It helped me, it saved me, it made me happy. I am an artist. I bead and carve jewelry. I make anything from mittens, hats, parkas, snow pants, and kamek sealskin boots. I knit and crochet scarves, hats, mittens, and headbands. I recently just started teaching myself to carve antlers and soapstone. I draw by hand or on Adobe Illustrator. I am more comfortable drawing on paper and painting. I have always been into drawing anything. I draw from anything to nudes. When I am drawing, I cannot stop. I did my first logo for Connected Youth and Elders. I also like to take pictures. What values in my life are our key principles, known as Inuit Talia Metuq. While I was growing up, I was always taught the principles, which are respecting others, relationship, and caring for people, fostering good spirit by being open and welcoming and inclusive, serving and providing for family and community or both, decision making through discussion and consensus, develop of skills through practice, effort, and action. Working together for a common cause. Being innovative and resourceful. Respect and care for the land, animals, and the environment. We use those as working together and alone. Most important is that we respect the land, family, friends, and other people, and working together. This is me, Talia Metuq.
Good afternoon. My name is Eric Lawler. I reside in Panniqtuuq, Nunavut. I've been living in the community for over 21 years now. I came up in business, and then I managed to fall in love with the community. I've worked around the hamlet for over 12, 14 years, working with the youth. In economic development officer position, planning of lands. I've done bylaw, ambulance services within the community, so I've been all around the municipality. I've done quite a bit of work. And Pang is a beautiful spot, and it's home to me now. Big pictures pop up in my head. I see the big dump, our metal dump, our wood dump. Toxic waste dump. It all gets piled into their little spots and just keeps on piling up and piling up. I mean, a lot of it comes from the south. It's all imported for consumption or for temporary use, vehicles, and then usually trashed within our landfill within its lifespan, and then it doesn't go anywhere from there. And it just piles up and continues to grow. It's every once in a while we see people go over there and try and recycle some of the stuff from the wood that's salvageable. But overall, it just grows and grows every year in the community. It's a giant eyesore, and it's a huge mess every time the wind blows, and it ends up blowing a lot of it back into the community. within our municipal boundaries, which it shouldn't be. It's a couple kilometers, less than a couple kilometers out away from the community. Every time we have to burn or dump. A lot of the time, the only way to reduce the amount of waste that's there is to burn it, and we have to hope that the weather's good so that it blows in the other direction, and pray that the wind doesn't shift and blow back into the community, because that creates a lot of toxicity in the community and the smell is just terrible. But we have to reduce the amount of material that's there, and we have no choice but to burn it. And, usually it gets piled in there, dumped, set on fire, and then brown capped. We go and put a layer of dirt over it, and then we start over again. The hill's getting bigger and bigger every year. Well, our fences could be improved. Every time there's a wind, it blows a lot of the stuff up and back into the community, or depending on where the wind goes. And there's lots of coming back into the community. Our landfills, for the most part, are well designed. We do have a lot of protection around them, especially our chemical toxic waste area. We try and maintain or prevent any leaching into the soil and make sure that it's well taken care of. I think many years ago, we had a huge permafrost melt, and it totally ripped apart a river and wiped out our only bridge within the community. It's always a concern. We see a lot of shifting in the land, and it is a concern. With our landfill being over capacity, it needs to be replaced. It needs to be relocated. Where it's going to be relocated. I think we have a project that's been designed, and it's taking over some really nice land, but it's the only land that's available outside our district or area. Down along the end of the road and around to that mountain that's sitting in the middle of the fjord. Behind that mountain, if you look at it from the community side, that's kind of sad that we'll be taking that up. But there's some good plans around it, more modernization around the landfill compared to our current one. Other concerns involve like our wood dump. This summer we had a fire that happened, a freak fire. It started at one end of the wood dump, and due to the wind, by within a couple hours, it was spread through the whole wood dump area. And that was quite a huge thing to tackle, and that spread over into the metal side as well. Almost had a chance of spreading into the chemical area, so there was a lot of concern over on that. With the metal, and like a lot of people bring vehicles over there. We try and make sure that the batteries and anything toxic is taken out and put into a container. But a lot of the times that metal just gets up getting piled on top of more metal and bulldozed on top of more metal. And eventually we're going to run out of space to deal with that. We've been trying to push for a crusher so we can go and shred our shredder, so we can go and shred all the material and possibly send it down south. If not, just shred it and bury it so that it's, we can make more room for it all. I think that's something they're doing in other communities, as it's quite costly to export it all the waste down to south, and it costs more than we'd make back in the recycling fees or anything like that. So we're mostly dealing with household waste, garbage. It's the biggest one. Other plans need to be developed for both the wood and the metal areas. For a number of years when I was first here, it was just one dump, one waste area where all the metal, all the wood went in there. With the establishment of the wood dump and the metal dump, there's been a lot of recycling. A lot of people go over there and look for parts and get parts for their equipment and, or wood to build their shack. So it's also been a good thing as well. We see a lot of people building their shacks and their structures from scrap, and that's been helpful for a lot of people in the community, especially with the increase in price of lumber. And so we do have a lot of wood waste when it comes from the sea lift. They import a lot of goods, and a lot of them are protected in wood containers, and then the container just ends up getting thrown into the dump. And a lot of that wood's still good. It gets used up in the community. And there could be a lot more done to keep that recycling going, the momentum going, and increase the amount that is recycled. A lot of stuff that can be reused and salvaged, but that's a lot of funding that we would need to go and support that infrastructure. We should be shipping out all our toxic waste barrels and materials. That's something we're going to be doing. That's something that should be done. There's support available to get all the stuff shipped out from the shipping companies as well. They've said they'd be able to help us, assist us with this. It's all from the south, it's all from importing goods and materials. And it's kind of sad, but I've noticed a huge increase in the amount of Amazon parcels coming into the post office, and it's cheaper to shop on Amazon right now than it is to shop at our local stores for a lot of the products. They went from a sustainable lifestyle, completely sustainable lifestyle, no waste, to almost a throwaway society, basically. Yeah, we've pretty much adopted that. Infrastructure. Say if we wanted to recycle or have people out there working, we don't have anything for them to have any shelter or cover. There's nowhere for them to work other than out in the open. Equipment such as bulldozers, compactors, crushers, or shredders, we lack a lot of that. More space. Money, yeah, that's what it comes down to. Is the biggest thing is the funding for all this stuff, for the equipment, for the personnel to operate the equipment, and the personnel to be on the ground. We don't have any not enough funds, like not even anywhere near close to funds to get us to where we need to be. We rely a lot on CGS, Community Government Services, to go and help us develop these plans and provide us with the funding to roll out these plans. And from most of the time, we're just waiting for them to step up. And lately, we find them sitting on their butts with piles of cash, waiting for our community, but it's not being implemented, and it's frustrating. We were at a NAM meeting last year, and we had a discussion with CGS, and he says we have 15 million in our pocket for the municipal dump. That's right after our wood fire, and we were complaining we need to get this dealt with. 15 million. We sit down, we have some discussion. That's not even close to what we need to really go and tackle what our dump, including our relocation. That's not even nowhere near as to what we need to get things done get us up to par. So they deal with all the communities in the north, and that's one of the problems. Like if one community has an issue, they're focused on that community. Like if not an issue, but like an emergency situation, and then all focus goes into that. School fires to other kind of municipal fires. Every time there's something big that happens, another project gets bumped into the back, and sometimes it's just the planning phase that just gets bumped. It loses the track, and then any kind of progress that this kind of community would make, it kind of fall in the back, and then the cycle would just start over until another community would have another issue, and then it would fall back behind. And maybe they're not staffed enough. There's not enough direct focus on each community. It's more their overall sense on all communities instead of just one. It's one person's doing it, and then he ends up switching. Then that project gets kind of forgotten about for a while, and then until something happened, and bam, there's money. There's quite a few discussions with CGS, and they've put forward some plans and some promises that things are going to move forward. So we're going to hold them to it and see how things go. I think we should be innovative, come up with ideas that and ways to reduce this, not just reduce the streams, but move them into somewhere else, do something else with them, repurpose, reuse, recycle. I think there's still a lot of educational, the educational piece still needs to be developed quite a bit. I think that's going to play a huge role in actually the success of maybe diverting a lot of that waste into different piles. Economic opportunities or employment opportunities that are there that can be pushed, and it may not be the best opportunities, but it's something for community members to do, and it's ways to generate other revenue streams within the community as well if we were to properly recycle all the stuff that we can recycle. It's like, as much as it is our responsibility, they were forced to change their culture, and it's kind of tough. You can't live the way they used to live when you're living in a community such as this. You're forced to import this stuff, and you have no choice, and it's tough. And then it'd be nice if they had a place to ship it out, or anything they bring up here, they should be bringing shipping back down, but it's tough. They put it all on us. It's a huge thing, because it all just ends up here and it stays here. Think about the environment, consider it. It's important. It's our kids' future, or their future, the future kids' future.
From Panniqtuuq, I'm Myra Hurd, and I am with my son Eshe Hurd, and we are collecting garbage for our friend and colleague Micky Renders, who is going to make an art project out of this waste. So this is waste here, various waste objects that we have collected just from around on the grass, in the rocks, just walking around. There's various things. There's a children's bicycle tire. There's lots of fabric. There's liquor bottles, styrofoam, Canadian flag, maybe from Canada Day, pop bottles, cardboard. Here's some diapers, various things. Yeah, we've even found an old abandoned stop sign here, which we're trying to fit into the bag. We're going to put it all in this bag, and we are going to bring it back down south, where Micky is going to make it into an art project. So this might be some of the only waste that ever travels southward. A lot of things come north and get left here, and this is a teeny tiny fraction of waste that is heading back down south.